guys, we're going to be blending fragrances.
Okay.
Now, typically, I would say don't be blending and mixing fragrances. Like, if you feel like creative and you want to be like Einstein in the morning and start mixing around your scents. The only reason I would mix around a fragrance is because, so let's use these two here as an example, which we're going to blend.
Let's do it.
They both share a typical, like they're both about the same in terms of note composition. The only differences is that this one here, the Eau de Parfum, has a couple different notes to it, so like 3 or 4 differences. Same with this one here. So, they're not too much different from each other, just a couple minor tweaks to it.
Okay.
And they're both in the same scent range. So typically, anything that's rich and like kind of like a bourbon or a woody or something like that, like something with a bit of depth to it, like a cognac fragrance, they're good to mix together if you want to find like a unique freshness or whatever. So I'd say let's just dive into it. So
sure.
Whenever I mix scents, 2 things I always make sure to do. The first thing, make sure that both scents kind of align with each other. We're not going to take a floral and mix it with something that's like a bourbon, because it could work out, but if you're doing it before you go to work and it's the first time you're doing it, don't be testing out new things before you go to like work. Do it when you have time to experience it. If you don't like it, scrub it off. The second thing I like to do when I mix a fragrance, you got to know which one's going to be your top note and which one's going to be your base note.
Wait, why is that important?
So essentially you want to so when you look at the different notes in the fragrances, specific base notes in either or of these are going to be important to know as to what you want your base of your mixed fragrance to be. So when I mix these two together, my nose prefers more of a sharper, refined vanilla in a base note, because I find vanilla is better in the base. It's also saying that as a fragrance wears down on the skin, you want it to stay sweeter on the skin. You don't want it to go too musky or too just weird or whatever. So this one, the Eau de Parfum Givenchy, it has a nice vanilla in it, and I want the vanilla to be my base note, so that way when I put this guy on top, it's got more of the cocoa and the burning wood. I want it to be more heart note and a bit more top note. I don't want the burning wood to be more base note. But the thing is, this will develop into a burning wood and vanilla sweetness base note. Okay. Yeah.
So the base note is kind of like the one is your favorite? Would that be fair to say?
Yes. Yeah.
The most favorite should be your base note?
Yeah, because your base note is what you're going to smell throughout the... I would say your top note is your first 30 minutes to hour of wear.
Okay.
Heart notes are kind of a mix of the base notes too, because fragrances like these, they don't have like a crazy note composition like a Creed where you truly notice a heart, top, and base.
Okay.
So I would say that I would only focus on top note and base note. So I would say that this one is more of a better, fresher opening with a better heart note, and this one is more like heart and base notes. So
right, let's do it.
Yeah, so first things first, I always put my base note first on the skin because I want to layer on top of it. So we're going to put our base note there with the Givenchy Eau de Parfum. So we're going to get the vanillas, the cognac richness, and that leather. Finally, this has like this kind of sweet, fresh bubblegum mixed in with woods, that fireplace type tone. So it's like a playful type cottage and bonfire scent. So we're going to add the bonfire scent to the top of that on the same spot.
If you guys want to see the videos of these individually, Zack broke them down with me and he went into depth about them. Make sure you check those videos up right there. And yeah.
So we've got them mixed on the hand there. It's going to be a little bit we've sprayed a bit of juice on there. Just let it dry. You can blow on it, and that's another way to make it dry on the skin faster. But yeah, so this, when you make a blend like this, the whole purpose is you want to make a scent that might be unique to you. So let's say your buddy has one of these and you have a better variety than his collection, and you want to go out, wear something that's a bit similar, so you both love the same scent, but you want to add to yours to make yourself stand out when you're with him. So this is a good way to stand out in the crowd by mixing two that are known to be mixed well. Another reason why I like to mix is, I get personally, because in my profession, I work for fragrance brands. Like I work for the LVMH fragrance company, and I get bored at work sometimes, and I'll look at a specific fragrance and be like, hey, I think that these notes would go really good with that. Let's try it. So I'll try it on paper. If the paper test is good and it shocks my nose, say, all right, next test is skin. If it smells good on the skin, it goes like fresh, a bit musky, and then still sweet in the end.
Yeah.
I know I found something that's quite good. So
Awesome.
sometimes I'll just show it to clients and I'll be like,
What do you
you know, just to pass time, I'll be like, yeah, like, what do you think of this? And if the reactions are good, then I kind of bring it out to the test table, you know.
Of course. That's a sign of a true enthusiast, by the way, guys.
Right.
If you haven't met someone who's passionate about what they're doing to that extreme, then you haven't met the right person. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna smell it now.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Go right ahead. We want to smell the top notes. So when I tried it earlier on my hands here,
Crazy, man. Holy shit.
I found that we got like a unique type cognac sweetness, but you get the burning wood lightly in the background of it,
Wow.
which is nice. So it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like candy sweet, which is, hey, if you're on a date, you want it to be sweet but very masculine and alpha, which is what I find. We've added a bit more sweetness, but vanilla is a note that you smell more towards the end of a fragrance. So this vanilla note is going to keep this nice and fresh, but it's going to hug air pockets and be very unique. It doesn't matter if it's warm or cool outside. This is perfect. And hey, if you're smoking a cigar and you're going to be wearing this layering here, perfect. You know?
Yeah, it's a great smell.
Yeah.
Like this is one of my favorite smells that I've seen a combination have so far. I like the blend of the woodsy smell with the vanilla bean as well.
Yes.
I'm a fan of this, truly, and this is something I'll like apply on date night for sure.
So would you say that your rating has gone up or down
Oh, way
since
up
mixing it?
for sure, way up.
What would you give it?
Oh man, like a 9 for
Boom.
sure, for
See?
sure.
So we can turn a fragrance that originally we were given this one an 8 from Brother T, and then we're also given a 7.5 or I believe a 7 on this one. So
Yeah.
the fact that we've been able to jump up so high to a 9 is crazy. So I mean, you know, sometimes I look at these fragrances, when I look at just one, I say, well, it's got a twin brother, boom. These are maybe meant to be together. So you put them together and you've got something that is truly unique. And like I said, you know, try this out on your own skin. Make sure it stays sweet and it's sharp and you like the scent. We all have a different oil concentration, but yeah, I would say that these two were designed to be mixed, you know?
Honestly. So I want to ask you a question about blending, and
Sure.
if anyone out there has similar questions, He'll be answering them right now. So for someone who wants to blend, do you typically blend companies or do you blend the like fragrance smells? Like,
So typically when I blend, when I get bored at work, I'll smell everything, right?
Okay.
So if a specific fragrance has a note to it or a specific scent to it that it hits my nose and my nose is kind of like, what is that? That's just intrigued by it. What I'll do is, if I know it needs a bit more something to be more perfected, I'll find through what I've smelled earlier, or cause I feel like I'm well-rounded. I've smelled everything in a store. I know what'll be good with it, and then I'll try it together on paper. If that smells good, then I think I found something. But I mean, specific brands also use different quality ingredients. Most of them all go for the same price, but most things that, consumers don't know is that the actual quality of the products, it's actually very different. So when you look at an LVMH product like these, and you compare it to, let's say, a Calvin Klein, for example, which is owned by Coty Canada, right? Coty Canada is nowhere on the prestige level of LVMH. So when you look at where these ingredients were sourced versus the Calvin Klein fragrances, Calvin Klein did not get all their ingredients from a garden in France. Givenchy, Dior, Guerlain, all share from the same garden in France. Their LVMH will not put their name on a brand that does not speak to their high-end quality of life. So they want to show off through their brand portfolio that they display the most beautiful aspects of a luxurious life. So that is why when I buy anything that is LVMH, Givenchy, Dior, Guerlain, it speaks those luxury just values. It's almost like I can see myself at a party in a mansion with, people that have expensive taste.
For sure.
So, I mean, if you want to wear Gucci or any of that, Gucci, their fashion and fragrance, two separate houses, I know when I wear Givenchy, Dior, Chanel, Creed, these brands are all owned by their company. They're not two separate houses.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's really important to blend it with the same families.
Same families, or high quality ingredients. It would be like me saying, I'm trying to use food as an example here. If you were to, let's say, make a smoothie, you were to go to, so if you're in Canada, let's say you were to go to Longo's, you were to get some of their freshest produce, you were to make a smoothie with 50% of those ingredients, and then you were to go to, let's say, Whole Food, or no, even, let's compare something good to something bad. So you go to Longo's, you get their fruit ingredients, and then you get the other 50% of the smoothie fruit ingredients from, let's say, like Food Basics, or a store that is more focused on boxed food opposed to fresh foods like produce.
Like a Walmart.
Yeah, even Walmart, right? So you get Walmart produce 50%, and then Longo's. You put those two ingredients together, so 50% fruit from Longo's, 50% from Walmart. They're not going to amplify each other.
No, it makes sense because
right?
I don't even buy like meat from like Walmart, for example. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I go to Whole Foods for meat.
Exactly.
The quality is different.
100%.
And it makes sense when it comes down to the relationship of colognes.
Right? Yeah. So I mean, like, if you're going to look at it from, because I guess, they're grown in specific ways that high quality fruits and stuff are grown. So I mean, like, I guess when you see that a brand has put X amount of time to ensure that their ingredient list is, very, very like potent and up to standard, there are for sure a couple synthetics in, I'd say, mass markets. But I mean, synthetics, the reason why they have to do it is because if every single ingredient in this was real, the price would have to be like $300. So, and this goes for every single brand. So, I mean, Creed, this is why it's also expensive, because they're going to be putting in, nothing synthetic. But I mean, synthetics doesn't mean bad. So let's say you take a synthetic ambergris note versus the real stuff. The synthetic ambergris note, because it's a molecule and it's something created in a lab, it's always going to be consistent. Every single year, every single batch, it will be the same. When you've got something natural, every whale is different, the same way that people are different. So, it's just like, if you expect a whale to be producing the same thing as its brother, the whale next door or whatever, it's
rare. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen that they'll be the same. They'll be like 95% identical, but
it'd be uniquely different.
And then
sense.
So I mean,
perfect.
So that's what I have to say about these guys here.
Dude, this is awesome. Blending colognes is a great start as well. Actually, it's more for someone who's a vet, but at the same time, it's a great experiment and even for me to be a part of. So thank you yet again, man.
Anytime. Appreciate you having me out here.
Yeah, for sure. Yet again, guys, thank you guys for watching Arcway, a new direction of modern man, and this is all about self-care. At the end of the day, invest in yourself, invest into your life, and then your life will become better. Thank you for having Zack here, and you guys can check out his content on his YouTube channel, also his IG. Ask him any questions directly. He's the go-to guy if you guys are having any questions, and we'll see you guys soon.